Really, critics? You guys are passing out at screenings of 127 hours because of the final scene of the movie? It's not that bad. How's it going, everybody? Welcome to the Daily Review, episode number 372. And the film I'm going to be reviewing for you guys today is 127 Hours. I'm sorry, Zach from San Diego. Elise isn't sitting here with me today. My apologies. 127 Hours is directed by Danny Boyle, who brought us Slumdog Millionaire from a few years ago, swept the award shows. People thought it was great. He's also made Trainspotting, 28 Days Later, The Beach, which I think is a pretty underrated, cool little film with Leonardo DiCaprio, and many others. 127 Hours stars James Franco. There's a few supporting parts here and there. Amber Tamlin, Lizzie Kaplan, who I love, pops up in this film, and a few other cast of characters. 127 Hours is the true story about a guy named Aaron Ralston, he's an adventurous guy. He went out hiking one day. He ended up meeting a couple girls along the way. They had some fun. He left them, and he ended up falling down this kind of cave-like structure. I don't know. I don't do this, so it's you know, I'm at a loss for words as to what to call these things. He gets a boulder trapped between his arm and the wall. The book was originally called Between a Rock and a Hard Place, which is literally where his arm is. And so James Franco, as Aaron Ralston, endures this for 127 hours, and you watch it all unfold. I had a lot of mixed feelings walking out of the theater after seeing 127 Hours, and I know a few things that I can say for sure right off the bat. Danny Boyle directs the hell out of this movie, and it's so impressive to me what Danny Boyle can do with a film that takes place mostly in one location. It's astonishing. He has these like three-way split screens that are just incredible and add to some very exhilarating stuff. There's a scene which is probably my favorite scene in the whole film, where after 2 or 3 days, Aaron Ralston's going a little crazy, and he conducts this like Tuesday morning talk show, and the way Danny Boyle films this entire scene is so smart. It's so funny, and it's also rings so true, and by the end a little sad. I also know for sure that James Franco is incredible in this film. He's the one man carrying the whole show on his back, and I think he's great. He adds a lot to the film, and I mean, he's not acting against anything. He's acting against himself, and I think that's a very difficult task to do, to make your audience engaged and entertained mostly at what's going on. There are a lot of things though that I find questionable with 127 Hours, and I don't know if that's the fault of the film or of myself. But it's some things that might cause some controversy among people watching this review. One is I think that 127 Hours, while it is a good film, it is definitely a good film, but it's strange to watch a movie knowing exactly where it's going. And I don't mean like when you watch a history film and you're like, oh, Apollo 13 or stuff like that, where you know kind of what's going to happen. Most people know the specifics of what's going to happen in 127 Hours. I won't spoil it just in case people don't know, but as the movie goes on, you're just waiting for that last 10 minutes to happen, and while it is suspenseful at times and there is a lot of high energy, I think all of that is owed to Danny Boyle's directing style and little to the story that's unfolding on screen, because at the end of the day, I know what's going to happen, and I'm just waiting for it to happen, and when it does happen, it happens, and the movie's over, and there's really not much more that it says. One other thing I will say about 127 Hours is that I think that the pacing of the film felt a little off to me, and it felt a little strange, because you have this exhilarating opening sequence with a great score, and just this frenetic camera style that's going on, and James Franco's meeting these two girls, and it's all great, and then you have the ending, which is terrifying to watch. It's unsettling. It's definitely a very tough film to take in by the end. But there's this entire middle section that I think at times is very entertaining and suspenseful, and I think there's some stuff that they maybe fabricated for this middle part to make it a little more interesting. But I think that there's a lot of stuff in the middle that's ultimately not nearly as exciting to watch, because at the end of the day, you are watching a guy trapped in a rock in the middle of nowhere. I think there's the film like Buried, there's Ryan Reynolds trapped in a box for 90 minutes, but one of the things that makes that movie so entertaining is that you have no idea where it's going, and you're finding out bits and pieces of the plot as you go along to try to find out why he's there. there's really no said plot to speak of other than Aaron Ralston being trapped behind this rock and him remembering memories or premonitions or kind of hallucinations that go on. I do think that it's a good film. I liked it. I didn't love it. I don't think it's, you know, better than Slumdog Millionaire or anything like that. It's still a pretty good film, though. I'm going to give 127 Hours a very strong 3.5 out of 5. Don't hate me, YouTube. Do not hate me. Anyway, thank you guys very much for watching, and I will be back tomorrow with another one for you.